I'm going to need you guys' help on something, but before that, a little bit of a backstory. I'm someone who is easily affected by passion. You know, they say that like if you watch someone do something they love, it's infectious. You can't stop watching it. From people who are passionate about like glass blowing, I've gone down that rabbit trail, to people who are passionate about mechanic, whatever it may be. I like watching Sam Sulek. He's passionate about weightlifting. It's just watching people who are passionate about stuff is infectious. Whether it makes you want to do the thing they're doing, us ADHDers, we have to battle that, or it just makes you want to do the thing that you love more. Like watching someone who loves to do what they do genuinely is an infectious feeling. Well, I've been watching a couple creators lately because I'm trying to become better at streaming. And one of the creators that I watch is Hylian Descent. He is a cozy streamer, whatever that means. He plays like Animal Crossing and games like that. I also watch, and I have been watching CohhCarnage. I think CohhCarnage, what's nice about him is his streaming career actually started after he was married. He also has multiple kids, and he's very, very level-headed. I love watching his streams. But there's another creator that I've been watching, and I don't know anything about him because he doesn't put his personal life on, which is great. I don't think creators need to put their personal lives on. I do my best to limit the amount that I reveal, but I'm a little too open of a book. His name is Maximilian Dood. He is a fighter streamer, or he streams fighting games. But more than streaming fighting games, he's just passionate about fighting games. Very passionate. See, I grew up playing Super Smash Brothers, a very specific fighting game. I played a little bit, and when I say a little bit, I mean like minutes to hours of Tekken growing up. I was never super good at Tekken, but I still played Tekken nonetheless because I enjoyed it, and it was a fun game on PlayStation. I think every teenage boy played Dead or Alive, and so we're going to leave it at that. But recently, I've been given some cool gear from 8BitDo. This arcade stick. They say it's an arcade stick. This is the second arcade stick that I've received from 8BitDo. This specific one is designed intentionally for the Xbox or the PC. It has the Xbox logo on it. It's great. I'm not going to put all the tech specs, but this is a really fun piece of machinery. I like to use it to play games unconventionally, and one of my new things I've been trying to do is play fighting games. Now, this is where I need your help. I recently thought of an idea. I thought, hey, what would happen if I signed up for a local Street Fighter 6 tournament and trained live on Twitch and allowed for as much help from the community as possible? My original thought was I want to do something new, and since my body is really broken and fractured and I'm still trying to fix that the best I can't really do some of the big things I wanted to do, like maybe a bodybuilding show one day, which would be crazy. I want to do something that is something a little bit more achievable, attainable. And so I was like, what kind of other competitions are out there? Something I can train for, something I can do, something that has results that are tangible based on effort, right? I can't just be like, oh, I want to be a bigger streamer, a bigger YouTuber, right? Those results are tangible, but they take a very specific metric. And so I thought, well, what if I got into a video game competition? What if I tried a video game competition? And so that's the thought. So I went online, I said, okay, well, let me find one that's like 30, maybe 45 days out, 2 months, that'd be great. I couldn't find any. Actually, I found plenty, but they were very far away. I had two criteria. One was I need to be able to drive there within half an hour. Currently having issues sitting in cars for too long because of my back. And so I need to get there within half an hour to at most an hour. Okay, that's criteria numero uno. 2 is it needs to be in person only. I want there to be a community presence. I want there to be people showing up. I want people that I can talk to and meet. I want to meet and see a community and see what it's like to be a part or enjoy the atmosphere of an in-person community. From people who are passionate to people who are not, people who are friendly to people who are not. I was curious, right? And the last criteria it was something that I could compete in, but not as a casual. I didn't want to come in and be like, hey, just show up, sit down, and play for fun. I wanted to compete in something where it was bracketed. So those 3 criteria, actually surprisingly, I found one. I found one that is 19 days from now. 19. And so starting today, currently on twitch.tv/JDXCoffee, I am actually training, if you want to call it that. I'm calling it that because it's funny to say. I am training for my first ever Street Fighter 6 tournament. Now, it's a local competition at a game shop. This isn't a sanctioned event. This isn't some crazy worlds. This isn't anything absurd. This is just a local one. But it's real. They're going to stream it. It's going to be a thing. I don't know much about it. It's their 2nd annual. But I looked for it. I paid for my position. I have an actual spot I'm showing up to compete in. They have other games that you can compete in, but this is the one. And I've chosen to do it with this. The 8BitDo Ultimate Control, the 8BitDo arcade stick currently. If another company comes along and says, hey, we'll send you one to use, fine. But right now, this is what I'm training on. Again, no specs. I'm using this. People are going to be like, well, you could use pad, you could use leverless. And I have leverless. Check it out. I have this guy, a hot pad. It's not perfect, but this is a tiny little one where you can press these buttons and they act as the buttons that you need to use. Great, cool, fun. I tried playing the game for about, I'd say 2 hours with this, and I didn't love the experience. I'm like, this is cool. It feels nice. The clickiness feels really good. And it's a fun little thing. It's nice, tight, and tidy. It's a cool thing, but I didn't love the experience, especially with the characters I'm using. I'm using characters that use half circles and full circles and lots of diagonals. So I was like, okay, well, I need to get something that I'm going to enjoy if I'm going to be playing this. The goal is to actually log 100 hours of this game in the next 19 days. I've already talked to my wife. I've already told her she thinks it's a great idea. She thinks it's super silly, and I want to, work at this right now. But this right here is what I'm using. I'm intentionally using a stick, and I want to continue to use a stick because I think that would be a fun experience nonetheless. Some people are like, sticks, they're just, it's holding on to an older way of gaming that's not necessary. People who play with stick, they've either been playing for decades or they're just, doing it for some sort of reason. It's really not advantageous. They're all equal, whatever it may be. Trust me, I've watched a lot of videos on what's the best. And what was the most encouraging about watching these videos about what is the best way to play a fighting game is every single one kind of came to the same conclusion. It's whichever one you're going to be able to learn on the best. If you're coming to it at a completely newbie, they all said the same thing. They're like, just play on controller because there's no advantage and you're already used to using a controller. What I heard was there's no advantage, so no matter which one you choose, if you're at ground zero, there's no advantage. You're fine. Some would argue that these little things, little hitboxes, leverless, whatever they're called, are advantageous because you can, the inputs, but I've never played mouse and keyboard. So using my left hand in that position is really uncomfortable for me. I don't enjoy the WASD type of gaming. I don't play first-person shooters that way. I don't enjoy playing games that way. And I think that gaming really comes down to enjoyment. How do you enjoy? This is why I like using Nintendo Switch's proprietary Joy-Cons, if possible, or the MOBA pad, because they have haptic feedback that is more immersive. That's why I like using the Pro controller over maybe the 8BitDo Ultimate 2 or the Pro 2 controller. It's why I prefer the DualSense controller over other controllers when playing games that utilize the haptics and that. It's because that immersion in that experience is fun. I like the pairing of that immersive kind of gaming experience with the games because at the end of the day, aside from Ready Player One, where you just aren't having that crazy, insane, immersive. This is the closest we can get. Literally, that's the way I look at it. It's the closest we can get. Also, I don't like VR. Nothing against VR if you like VR. I personally don't like it. I don't like having a detachment from the world I'm in to play a game, especially with children. I don't have the luxury. I'm at home right now filming this. My door's open right here because my son is sleeping. Like, I don't have the luxury of just like tuning everything out. Part of the reason why I don't play with headphones is because I need to have one ear tuned to hear what's happening in the house. When my kids aren't here, I have a higher likelihood of being able to use headphones. I still don't use it. But getting back to this, I thought, it's really good. I mean, CrossFit, we talk at length about doing new things. It's one of the foundational ideas of CrossFit back when it was actually good was play new sports often. The idea of trying new things, being physical outside of the gym, trying different styles of movement often. Use the fitness you have to do things with other people, community. And I'm like, yo, there's something that's so huge that I feel like I'm missing. I'm trying to create in the Twitch space, is this idea of that, like, hey, you're watching the stream and talking every once in a while. You're playing your own game. You might be playing Xenoblade Chronicles X. I'm playing Street Fighter 6 or Monster Hunter or Elden Ring, and someone else might be playing FIFA. But we're all there together. We're all enjoying something communally. We're doing games together, and while sitting next to someone and playing Street Fighter, GoldenEye, Star Fox, these aren't things we get to do as much anymore. And now with, of course, online play, we can do that and have that experience, but there's nothing like it. There's nothing like sitting next to somebody that you're playing a game with, and you beat them. And, if you're a smack talker, you smack talk. I've never been a smack talker. Usually if I beat someone or they beat me, I'm more talkative. If they beat me, I'm like, dude, that was crazy. That was insane. Whatever. This kind of thing, that camaraderie, that kind of thing it's so powerful. And so I'm like, how can I apply this idea of try new things? I mean, so back when I was doing CrossFit more, when I was first doing it, I was younger. I was I'm 36. I've been doing it for like 13, since 2012, 14 years almost. No, 13 years. I remember I was like 2 or 3 years into doing CrossFit. I was like full-fledged. It's all I talked about. Literally all I talked about. People must have been so annoyed by me. And I remember one morning waking up. There's something in the CrossFit community called CrossFit.com. The idea was that this website publishes a workout. It could be anything from deadlifting your 1 rep max one day, all the way to just going and running a 10K randomly. Like, there's literally no rhyme. There's some rhyme, no reason. Some very, very little. There actually is a lot of science behind it, but I'm not going to bore you. I woke up one morning, and I had been going to a gym. Shout out, to CrossFit Costa Mesa back in the day. I'd been going to that gym for a while, and I was like, I'm not going to make it in. I'm just going to look at CrossFit.com, and I'm going to do the .com workout. I'm just going to do the .com workout today. Random. I'd had a rest day. We're good. Everything's solid. I go on .com, and it says, do a sprint triathlon. A sprint triathlon. Now, a sprint triathlon doesn't mean you sprint the triathlon, although some people may. It's just the shortest triathlon. I forgot the exact amount. I think it's like 750 meters, or maybe it's 1,000-meter swim, or 2,000. I don't know. It's not crazy amount of swimming. It's more than I had done, and then you ride a 20K, I believe. I could be getting this all wrong. I think it is a 20K. And then you run a 5K. And I was like, you know what? Okay. And I woke up. I was like, I had a fixie. That's all I had was a fixed gear bicycle. I am that guy. And I'm like, I'm going to go do a sprint triathlon. I remember my parents looking at me and being like, you're going to go do a sprint triathlon? And I was like, yeah. I'm going to like figure out how to do this. I'm going to have to like change. We had pools near our house. I was like, we have to change somewhere. And then I'm going to have to like kind of do the thing. And I remember doing it and then finishing it and being like, ooh, that was weird. But it was a new thing. I was like, I did a triathlon on like a Thursday. This is crazy. This is so insane. I just like randomly just decided to wake up and do a triathlon. But like the thought was, and the idea, the feeling was like, I did a new thing. I didn't do it very well. I'm sure it wasn't a competitive time. I have no idea what the time was, so I can't even share that with you. But it was that I woke up and I did it. Now, I had spent some time doing CrossFit and some running, some very little swimming. And then, I used to race unofficially, fixed gear bikes. But like that I loved it. And I was like, this is so great. I'm like, how can I get that feeling again with video games? And I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's sign up for a competition. Let's try something new, and let's get into it. Now, someone asked like, why not do? They had Tekken. They also had Super Smash. Why not do Super Smash Brothers? And I'm like, because for me, this is so amazing. Yes, I am choosing to use a stick One, because when I look at this, I'm heavily inspired to use it. You know, every once in a while you have a thing that when you like, you hold it or you like look at it, it like inspires you. You need to like cherish those things, whatever it is. Whether you like, for me, I like look at my books and they inspire me. I'm like, I want to read these. I want it to tell stories. I want to read, like that kind of thing. I look at this and I'm inspired. I want to use this to play beat 'em ups. I want to try playing, side scroll. Like I'm inspired. I've played through Mario games with this because it just inspires me to use it. I'm like, well, how can I use it appropriately? Oh, well, let's do Street Fighter. But it was also this idea of like, this is the history of gaming. I was watching a review of fighting sticks by Maximilian Dood, and he's told a story about why he uses a stick. It's not because it's better. It's because he grew up playing on it. And there was a time when fighting games were just at arcades. And he's like, I spent all of my teenage money going to arcades and playing fighting games. And that's how I practiced, was at arcades. And so that's what I know. That's what I've learned. That's how I know how to play. And so if I was to switch, or I know how to use this. But for someone who's been playing on controller their whole life, this is ground one. Well, I'm at ground zero anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Also, in doing this, I'm choosing to stick to what is called classic controls versus a new implementation they have with Street Fighter 6 called modern controls, which changes the way you can play to be a little bit more accessible. But also, it creates, I think there's a damage reduction. I'm not sure. I thought there was, though, that if with modern controls, there's a slight damage reduction because of, you can basically spam specials and stuff. But I'm going to be sticking to classic controls and using an arcade stick. Not because I'm trying to, like, speed run hard mode, but rather because this is like the history. This is like where it all began. And I think that that's really cool. Now, who knows? I could just spend 100 hours trying to do this and eat crap, show up knocked out immediately. And if that's what happens, that's what happens. And I respect it, right? But for me, I'm like, this is a fun little thing. And it was a moment of inspiration I got not only from watching some videos, but also it's the idea of just trying new things. It's so unconsequential. I'm already a streamer. I already stream on twitch.tv/JDXCoffee, and I actually dual stream over on JDX Coffee Live. And so that I have a live YouTube channel. So like I already stream. So I'm going to be putting hours in streaming anyway. That's fine. I already play offline. So I'm going to play offline a little bit more. It's a little bit more of a time commitment, and I've talked to my wife, hey, I would like to try this thing. I think it'd be a fun project, a fun video idea, and she's like, that's a great idea. I think it's great. I think it's a super fun idea for a video. This is great. I want you to do this. And so that she's on board. She's super into it. She thinks it's hilarious. And I'm like, cool. Well, everyone in my immediate life is like super into it. I'm like, cool. Cost me $15 to get into this. Great. Supporting a local gaming community that's keeping in-person gaming and competition alive. I'm not mad at that. Super into that idea. And I'm like, this is such a fun idea. And I contemplated. I was like, do I share this with you guys and like, hey, I'm doing this, or do I just surprise you and say, hey, look at what I've done? And I contemplated with both sides, but I would rather you guys be along for the ride. Hop into the live streams if you have pointers, if you have ideas, if you want to help train with me, like play me, and like, hey, we're gonna we're gonna fight, and get in here with me. I'm not doing this today. Today I'm just locking in, trying to figure out all the combos of the two characters I've been kind of trying to figure out which one I want to do. I've narrowed it down to 2, and I'm not gonna tell you here. You're gonna have to hop into the stream to figure it out. But if you want to be a part of that, it's real simple. Just twitch.tv/JDXCoffee or JDX Coffee Live. Hop into either of those. I am streaming in the morning times. That is my stream time. And I will post a schedule at the beginning of the week in Discord, which you can get access to on Twitch, and it'll be on my Twitch. The schedule will be accurate on the Twitch page. When you see this, it's accurate. It's up. I'm also currently live right now, unless there's some crazy circumstance that made it so I'm not live, which means I wouldn't post this video, because I'd have to re-edit it to take this part out where I say I'm live right now. So if you're seeing this and I'm saying I'm live right now, I'm live right now in the first, I would say, so if this goes live at 6 a.m., probably streaming until noon. So if you're watching this within the first 6 hours of this video posting, I'm probably live, and I'm probably practicing all of the combos for one of 2 characters in Street Fighter 6. And I'd love for you to come by and be like, yo, let me help, or let me watch. I want this to be a community effort. I want this to be something where we start to have that feeling of like, we're a part of something. We're a part of doing this thing. If you've never played a fighting game before, maybe try one. I don't know. I'm not sitting here saying that fighting games are the best thing ever. I don't even know, dude. I've played Smash Brothers with friends, not even that much. And like Street Fighter 6 for maybe like a total of like 4 hours with that thing. I played a little bit this morning with this thing, and this is being filmed the day before. And so I have like, I'm coming in at 0. Fighting games have always been really intimidating to me because anyone who plays them against someone who has already been playing them for a while often gets decimated immediately because you just get slammed up against the side and they just overcombo you and it's done. I want to learn how to do that. And I think, again, trying new things, learning new things, why not? Is it a skill that's transferable? The skill of playing video games with an arcade stick is not transferable. But the practice of learning a new skill and putting yourself out there where there is a high pressure situation that you're forced to perform this new skill in front of other people who can judge you or who are better than you at that skill. Now that's something that's transferable. And I would challenge you to find something where you can do that. Don't make it of high consequence. Don't be like, hey, I'm going to learn how to do paintballing for the first time. Like, okay. Right. Also, use what you have. I didn't pay for this. They sent it to me. And I'm not going to upgrade it unless another company sends me something. I'm like not going to go buy a $400 fight. I've never played a fighting game before. Like, I'm not going to do that. But that being said, I'm really excited, and I want you to join me in this journey. So hop over there. If you're like, dude, I don't even care, I just want you to talk about Steam Deck, that'll happen. It's going to happen. It's going to be fine. We'll be there. But let's just do this. I would call this, if we're thinking about anime, this is a filler, right? This is that like 3-week, like 3 or 4 episode arc where Bulma and everybody go to that random planet where there's the Namekians, and they're like, wait a second, this isn't where I'm supposed to be. This isn't where Goku is. Why is there a robot here, right? Is that the robot one? I think that's actually somewhere else where Gohan meets a robot. I think that might not be at the same time. I'm not sure. But this is a little side story, a side quest, if you will. Join me on this side quest. And who knows? I might fall in love with it. I don't know. I may not. All right. We had fun. This is great. I'm going to drink coffee. I missed 2 calls. I need to answer them. So, see you guys around. And as always, play more. Be kind.